evening and welcome to Fashion and Lifestyle on Cavan TV. I'm Siobhan Harton and I'm here with Christine McGuinness from the Back to Nature store on Main Street, Cavan. Welcome, Christine.
Hi, Siobhan.
How are you doing?
Great.
Oh, I'm actually going to be Christine is going to be talking about how to detox the body for the Christmas season and get it good and healthy so we can eat loads of unhealthy treats. And also she's going to be talking about how to build up the immune system, how to get the energy alive for the party season. So Christine, do you want to start off with how to detox the body and get it ready for the little black dress?
Yeah, and actually now is the time to be doing that. You know, it's like, I think we have just under a month to go. So the big thing really I think about getting ready for the party season is to, as gently as possible, to cleanse the system and give it a little bit of break so that it can have that extra bit of energy for partying and the like. Yeah.
And you're saying do it now.
Do it
Don't
now.
do it.
Do it now, absolutely.
2 days beforehand.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit now there's things you can do 2 days beforehand, but really if you kind of make it as much grace and ease as possible, then you do get better results.
Okay.
There are a few things that one of the most important things that we say to everybody is to make sure to drink their 2 litres of water a day.
Right.
It's one of the most important things for cleansing, for detoxing, but also for keeping the skin healthy and vibrant and alive. And a lot of us go around totally dehydrated, which makes us look a lot more tired than we are and can really affect the skin. So one of the simplest things to do is to drink plenty of water, and ideally 2 litres in the day.
2 litres of water, yeah, because we had actually Patricia from the Powder Room on last week, and she was talking about how important it was to drink the water for the skin. So you're saying for the body as well, it's really important for the body for detoxing.
It's such an important. It's so simple, and yet such an important thing but most of us don't do it.
Yeah, but once you get into the routine of drinking water, you actually do. You miss it. You get thirsty. You feel yourself more thirsty. Actually,
absolutely. Yeah, your body does. Yeah. Then it starts to the cells of the body start to drink it in and do with it as they need.
Okay, so is that why you feel thirsty? Because it's the cells of the body's used to it at this stage, and then they absorb it in.
Yes, because the body will always try and survive. So if it can survive on a very low level of nutrient and of water. Right. But the effects show up on the things that are not vital for life, like skin and hair and nails and eyes and vibrancy, and so the water will always save enough for kidney, bladder, lung, heart, those sort of things.
Okay. So that's the first thing, is that the water goes to is the organs, and then after that is so drink plenty, so each thing gets.
Well, I was taught, it's almost 20 years ago now, by a brilliant guy. He was the head of the Reflexology Society in Ireland, and he said the biggest tip you could give anybody was to start the day with a glass of water and a slice of real lemon in it. And
is that warm water, or is that?
It doesn't really matter. You should never drink icy cold water in the morning, because it's another shock to the system, and the body has to warm it up. So, as to your taste. Yeah. But the idea with the slice of lemon in it is that it was again cleansing and detoxing, and in his reflexology he could see the difference in the people who would do that on the reflex points on the feet. So
really?
They weren't holding
just with
a
glass of water, because I know Dr. Gillian McKeith, you are what you eat. Yeah. She used to say that, and that was more about bowel movement to get your bowels.
Yeah, see, it's important for every body system. It really is. It's the simplest. Along with that, then there are certain herbs and nutrients that are great for detoxing. Right. So probably one of the things that people are most familiar with now, and there's a lot of talk about on media circles and health circles, is the idea of the superfoods, the super greens. So they would be wheatgrass, barley grass, chlorella and spirulina. Okay. And they all come in one product called super greens. That's them. But when you put them together and you put them either in a capsule form or in a powder into smoothies or into juice, each of them have a different beneficial effect on the body. Okay. So spirulina is great for kickstarting metabolism and really getting the body breaking up fats and working as it should. Right. And chlorella is one of the strongest detoxes. And it's a green, they're all green foods. So
Right.
the chlorella will work, it'll even help to detox heavy metals from the body, which again can really affect our energy and vitality levels.
And when you're talking about heavy metals from the body, is that the metals in the teeth?
Yeah, all
Is
of
that-
yes,
yeah.
and our lead, and sometimes we can have, from handling cash, and
Okay.
coin, we can have too much nickel, or environmental issues.
Yeah.
We can have certain levels of toxicity in the body due to heavy metals.
Okay.
So chlorella is one of the strongest foods to do that. It's, and then you have wheatgrass, which is one of the strongest energy givers and antioxidants. So a real strong cleanser, but also an energy giver. So it allows the body the energy to detox,
Right.
and also then hopefully to have that little bit extra for exercise and to facilitate losing the weight.
And would you put them all in the one smoothie?
Yeah, they
so
come
you'd
in.
put all the capsules
Well,
in.
they actually all come together.
Okay.
So you have
it's all in one form. Do we have
now
any
you
of
can
it
buy
here?
them. There's one just over on the table, just underneath the apple cider.
Okay, so if I show that,
And that now you can buy all of
that's
those
the
separately.
super greens
Yeah.
there. So you can
And
see it.
lots of people would choose just
So you
one
put
of
that
those,
in the smoothie.
but you can put a spoon of that in the smoothie.
One spoon of that in the morning in the smoothie.
Yeah. Or
And
really
that's-
with the super greens, you can do that any time in the day. It's not necessarily morning time.
Okay.
Yeah, but a
And
great,
that'll do that.
a great
And that tub is $22.90.
Yeah.
Great.
Great
And that would
superfood.
last how long?
easily a month, but probably more depending
Okay.
on, but easily a month out of it.
And that's good. That's good for detoxing.
Yeah, but
Great.
I like it because it's not just detoxing; it's energy giving, and it's getting the metabolism working as well.
Right.
Sometimes detoxes can be, you want the body to work in balance or in as much ease as possible.
Right.
So when you're working on a lot of systems, it's much better if you can have energy giving stuff as well as the cleansing and then the stimulating effect of the spirulina, which is a seaweed. So
Right.
they're all
'Cause-
sort of working sort of with a synergy, a natural synergy to
Yeah.
get the result.
To get the result, yeah, because sometimes they say when you detox, your energy goes, you can get headaches and
Yes.
different things. So this
Yeah.
kind of cuts that out.
Exactly, because you're energizing at the same time.
Right.
So that makes it one of my, it's a very favourite food of mine. Now, not just for the detoxing. A lot of people will use it if they're into sport or use it, for stamina building, vitality building, or just generally looking after their health, or if they've been on a lot of medication and are now in recovery.
Right.
The superfoods can be great to cleanse the residue of that from the body as well.
And can you actually take that when you are on medication as well?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends.
So it'd be advisable to
that would
ask
have
your
to
doctor
check
and
with
stuff
the
like that.
GP because some of them won't. There are contraindications, and then some medications they're perfectly safe with.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you would always have to check
with your doctor
with the
before-
GP. Yeah.
beforehand. And then I see apple cider. What's that for?
Yeah. Well, apple cider's more
It's not
into the dieting thing.
Okay.
Again, but it's a natural
see that.
dieting in that apple cider vinegar gets spoken about again quite often, and its idea is it's a kickstart for the metabolism. It's a real it literally makes the body break down fats. Also very good cider vinegar for getting rid of acids out of the system, which is what can cause stiffness and joint pain. So people use it for arthritic and rheumatic issues as well. But in its form, as we have here, it also then has dandelion in it. And dandelion is great for getting rid of excess fluid out of the body.
Right.
Because very often people will lose weight but hold fluid, or fluid will gather where the weight has been. So the dandelion is a great addition to that. So it just gently helps the body to release excess fluid.
Okay. And the dandelion, well, that's because they call them feed the beds.
Exactly.
It's a natural
And
diuretic.
yeah, and it's very good for kidney bladder stuff as well. The other ingredient in the apple cider is a herb, artichoke. And artichoke is what helps the liver to break down fats, which is what the liver has to do to process those fats out of the body when we break them up in exercise or through dieting.
Yeah.
So it's a nice all-rounder.
Would dandelion tea be good for that?
Yeah,
as well?
dandelion tea is a lovely thing to make part of life. The teas therapeutically they have a lot less strength than a tincture would have.
Right.
So when you're detoxing, the tea should be an addition, but it wouldn't really be enough of
On its
itself.
own.
It's the tea's more part of life.
And I've often wondered, do you know when you have your dandelions at home, what part of that can you use for your own tea?
Well,
can you use that
well,
for your own
the
tea?
big thing to be careful with is that there's no chemicals or pesticides or anything on your dandelions.
Or
at
dog
home.
pee or anything.
Exactly. So it's about how safe can you get. But usually it's dandelion leaf that you.
Oh, it's the leaf of it. Okay, so it's not, because
yeah.
I'd imagine it'd be the flower.
Yeah. So usually but you be careful about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're good for salads as well. You
Yes.
can eat those in salads as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's probably one of the most underrated herbs, or flowers that we have. There's a lot you can do with dandelion.
Yeah. But you really need to know what you're doing actually if you're going to go out and pick some.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be my area of expertise at all. I grant when it's in the capsule or in the tincture. Yeah.
I've heard a few stories about mushrooms and stuff like that.
Exactly. Way past my expertise. One of the ones that are probably most commonly people do for detoxing is it's a thing called Pure Plan, and Pure Plan is when somebody's really serious about doing a cleanse for it's usually a week.
Pure Plan,
and Pure Plan combines 7 different herbs,
right?
And some of them are for pancreas, spleen, and liver. Some of them are for kidney and bladder. So that's the fluid aspect, and some of them are for digestive system and bowel. So when you use the Pure Plan, it's like a little vial, and you mix it in 1.5 liters of water, and you drink that within the day.
Yeah.
And ideally, when you're detoxing, you cut down on tea and coffee. You cut out alcohol. Ideally, cut out all sugars, and cut down on red meat. And the idea behind those is that you want the herbs that are detoxing to be detoxing on a very deep level into the body systems, rather than simply detoxing on what you're having in that day. So if you're having too much coffee or sugar or certainly alcohol, then all the liver herbs will just go to have to detox that in the moment,
right?
Rather than doing the deep detox that you're looking for. So Pure Plan's a very simple, well-known one for the emergency detox.
For the emergency detox, and would that be the ideal one for after Christmas then?
I probably would sell most of it after Christmas. Though sometimes people will do it at this time if they really, as you were saying, really want to fit into the dress.
Just to get the bloatedness down and everything like that.
It's a quick
but then,
action
like that, with anything that you'd have to kind of go through your GP as well to see if that would be harmful to you, or is that something?
Pure Plan herbs are quite simple in their nature, so
okay.
Unless somebody was on serious medication, which they would know not to, they would be well told not to mix. It's quite a simple detox. That's why it's a none of the herbs are very deep acting,
right? And you do that one for 7 days beforehand. Yeah, and then going on to the green tea then that you have here. Because I see green tea is often known for detox, but that's Japanese green tea.
Yes, I brought that along, Siobhan, because there are lots of green teas out there, and the green tea in matcha, it's Japanese, but it's actually ceremonial green tea.
Okay.
And
there, can you see that?
The idea behind that is that has 367 times the antioxidant of your green tea in a tea bag.
Wow.
So you can imagine the power of that. And it's recommended that you use 1/2 teaspoon a day. That's all that you take of it. And you can do that you blend it. There's little bamboo whiskers, because they like to keep the metals out of it as well, so you don't put your aluminium or anything in, because
so it's like a Japanese tradition.
It's in ceremony. Exactly.
In ceremony, excellent.
So it has all of that aura around it,
the ritual,
and people who do that, it's when they're into their green tea, then it's usually matcha that they would choose. And again, you can make that like a shot. You know, so you can have
a shot of green tea.
A shot of green tea, or you can make it your full
We want this
mug
on
of
Cavan
tea.
TV.
You know, yes.
Actually, I want that here, that I can have a shot of green tea while my guests are on.
Exactly. Ceremonial matcha.
Ceremonial green tea on Cavan TV, yeah.
They're only the best.
It sounds
Siobhan.
really, absolutely, Christine. And then you have the detox box there. Oh, is that the Pure Plan that you were talking about?
Yeah, that's the little one.
Okay, that's the Pure Plan that Christine was talking about, the 7 days detox.
Yeah.
So it is, and it has all the different herbs on the side there. Of what's
so that's a very basic one. And the one just behind it, Siobhan Fluorescence in the large bottle, that detox is world famous.
This one here,
bottle.
Fluorescence.
And it was
Looks
designed
like
by
one of
a
those
nurse.
old medical.
Exactly.
Oh, well, designed by a nurse.
Designed by a nurse called Renée Cass,
Right.
Canadian lady in the 1950s. And her recipe and remedy went all over the world.
Okay.
And Fluorescence has everything that Pure Plan would have, or any other detox.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has herbs that goes into the lymphatic system, and that can be quite an issue for many people, because lymph doesn't have a pump, so it doesn't drain itself.
Right.
So something that will get into the lymphatic system herbally and detox is quite a huge thing.
Okay.
The Fluorescence again works on all body systems, really good: kidney, bladder, digestive system, bowel. There's also anecdotal evidence that it's actually an emotional body cleanser as well.
Okay.
So people would
when you say an emotional body cleanser, that's any emotion that's trapped in the body.
Yes.
So it cleanses that as well. So this is like a super cleanse.
It is the quintessential detox. And I love it. And I always, when selling it to people, you would always give them that little bit of a warning that if there's stuff stuck in the body, it may bring it up. Yeah. Now, the theory behind that, when you're thinking holistically, is that all disease is when we're out of balance. And whether we're out of balance emotionally or physically or mentally or spiritually, however it might be, if that gets staying in the body systems long enough, the imbalance creates disease.
Okay, like dis-ease in the body.
Exactly. So Fluorescence is one of the very traditional, very well respected remedies that work on all body systems. And some of Renée Cass's original people that work with her, they would even take it to working on a mental, spiritual level. But certainly we could claim it as an emotional body cleanser as well as physical body symptoms.
And would you find yourself crying or something with this?
Yeah, there have been occasions.
Anger?
Yes, there's been occasion for people when they take that stuff happens.
Right.
Now to my mind,
comes with a warning.
Exactly, but that's hugely therapeutic.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's
good
up
release.
and out.
Yeah.
Exactly, and it's just once you're aware of it, then there's no panic around it. It's just that you're aware that it may happen.
Right.
But primarily it's a strong physical body detox with all these extras thrown in.
Wow. And how long did you say you would be able to take that for?
The Fluorescence, usually people take it about 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
And that's enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, it's not something that you would go on.
And it's every day, 1 spoon of it.
Well, you make it in a herbal tea at night time.
Okay.
And so you drink your tea, hopefully in relaxation and calmness.
So you're kind of doing a ritual with it as
well. Yes, absolutely. I think when you're dealing with something of that power, it's good to do it with a bit of intention, as I would say. Yeah. And then the next day you drink your 1.5 litres or 2 litres of water. Right. Because remember, in whatever detox you use, it needs water to help the herbs to work to flush the toxins out of the body. So, and again, into the emotional body cells as well, the water is very essential. It's dragging everything with it. Yeah. So you make your tea at night time and you drink your 2 litres of water the next day. Wow. And then make your tea at night time.
And make your tea at night with it. But it sounds like an amazing, and that's €25 for all that cleansing.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a really, I like it a lot now. Yeah. I have great respect for that remedy.
Yeah, good, it's great. And then if we move on to then the energising your body for the Christmas season.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think particularly now we're all under a level of stress that hasn't been known before, I think.
Added stress.
And that stress saps the body of its vitality and its energy and its enthusiasm. And, you know, you have so many people now are, you know, more likely to stay in.
They are,
you know, and for all sorts of reasons, for money reasons, but also the fact that the emotional body and the stress levels, they're just on a very, you know, on a low ebb. So there's a lot of nice things that you can do to kind of boost the body systems so that you have the vitality and energy for the celebration that Christmas can
bring. Because November can be an awful depressing time for people, especially with the time change. It's dark, or you know, and the weather as well. So it can be
really it can be that, you know, the I suppose taken to its extreme is the SAD syndrome, you know.
The SAD syndrome is right.
The big breakthrough on that in recent years is how important vitamin D is.
Oh, and you've got a package of vitamin D.
Vitamin D now is written about nearly in every magazine that you look at. Because it's a very simple nutrient, but it's
D3.
When you don't have it, the symptoms can be quite huge. So a lot of things like the SAD syndrome, the winter blues, emotional body, a lot of talk around it with depression. But also then vitamin D is relevant for the absorption of other nutrients like calcium and that into the bones. So because of our climate, we have one of the highest rates of osteoporosis in the world, particularly in women. So the vitamin D is very relevant for that, to help us to absorb the nutrients from our food.
Right.
It's also hugely anti-inflammatory. So again, into the joint and bone stuff, the arthritic issues with our climate, vitamin D is very relevant. But
would that be good for fibromyalgia or polymyalgia?
Absolutely.
Vitamin D.
It's a basic. There are other things you would add to it, but it's a basic. And primarily then it's immune system. So that's one of the basic things to do. I think the other one that can be really beneficial, a very simple nutrient, is the B complex vitamin, because B complex are your central nervous system vitamins. So they're the ones that get depleted when we're under stress or pressure. And again, that shows up in skin. It shows up in things like cold sores, mouth ulcers, those sort of things. They're vitamin B deficiency.
Vitamin B, and would that be the side of
absolutely
lips as well?
Anything to the mouth. That's the vitamin B and C. The little cracks are lacking in vitamin C. So when it starts to show up in the skin and then you're quite deficient.
Right.
But how those symptoms usually show up is that you're a little bit more on edge, just not coping as well, waking up feeling tired.
Also, it affects your moods.
Yes, the B vitamin C, the B vitamins would be the stress vitamin. And magnesium then is the stress mineral. So there's a lovely one there.
They should give it out free.
Exactly. We should all have it free.
I know loads of people that need it. I don't. Not for me. I just want my green tea.
Yeah, exactly. In your ceremonial bowl. Of all the vitamins, I think the B in this time of the year is the most essential.
Right.
You know, and then there's a very famous tonic in the background there, the Floridex bottle, which I've sold for 4 years now at this stage, and
with
I still
vitamin D. Do we have it here?
The red one, Siobhan, the Floridex bottle.
Oh, this one here. Yeah, I've taken Floridex before, and it's great.
Yeah, that's full of B vitamins.
Right.
And so it literally lifts the body. The thing with Floridex is that you know the difference within a few days of taking it.
Yeah.
And it has an iron base in it, which again, particularly for women, we can get quite low in. But the iron comes from spinach and nettles and that type of thing. So it's very easy on the body, very easy to absorb. Good. And the big thing with Floridex is that you will notice it so quickly, but it's not harsh to take.
Yeah.
So
it's quite easy to drink.
It's quite easy to take.
Yeah,
and there's easy. A lot of nutrients can leave again headachy or heavy or whatever. Floridex doesn't do that.
It's quite easy.
Yeah.
And you actually remember to take it. And then just say if you were so you didn't do it on the run up to Christmas,
Yes.
and you were wanting energy over the Christmas season. What would be the best thing to take then?
Well, probably there are two really good nutrients that act very quickly.
Right.
Royal jelly would be one of them.
Okay.
Which royal
Do
jelly
we have that
is the
here?
food of the queen bee. See the little yellow
this
bag
one
just
here.
in front.
This is
yeah.
the royal jelly.
So royal jelly. That's
So this is like a shot bottle.
exactly.
if you need.
Exactly.
Energy
Yeah.
in a bottle.
Yeah. So when in serious need, that's
this is where you go when you're in serious need.
In serious need. And the idea of the royal jelly, that energy would last
Bouncing
for
off walls.
like 4 or 5 hours.
Right.
It's
It lasts
like
for 4 or 5.
it's
And can you drink after that?
Oh yes,
Oh, you
absolutely.
can drink
Oh
after
yes,
that.
royal jelly it's a very natural
Okay.
food, but
Right.
it has very strong energy giving properties and recovery properties as well. Royal jelly. So say if somebody's very energy depleted,
Yeah.
and they actually when that's happening, and you're going out partying, say for instance,
Yeah.
you're actually working on adrenaline. You
Right.
know, so
Yeah.
you're using energy that you don't have.
Yeah.
So that's where the royal jelly comes in, and it's a real
Booster.
assistance and boost.
Right.
The other big one is the
The
ginseng.
ginseng.
Yeah, and
And
ginseng
that's
is
another
a-
shot bottle as
Yeah.
well.
Is
And can you take those two together, or would
No,
you just take
you
one?
would choose one.
You just choose
You
one.
choose one.
You'd be really bouncing if you took
Exactly,
the
we're
two.
not responsible for the circumstances.
Not advised to
Yeah.
take two.
Yeah, ginseng again is a really strong energy giver. Now it has some contraindication, so anybody with high blood pressure medication wouldn't choose ginseng.
Okay. And what about low blood pressure?
No,
Can you
it
take
actually would be beneficial in that
Okay,
in that
be
case.
good for that.
It's ginseng's what they call an adaptogenic herb.
Right.
So if somebody's a bit low, it has a boosting effect.
Right.
But equally, if somebody's a bit high and anxious, it can have a very calming effect.
Oh, I know.
So the idea with the blood pressure medication, it just doesn't work because you could be boosting too much.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
So again, it's that few hours extra energy give you the lift that you need in a little shot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, and then the final area that we were going to look at is gifts that you were given for people that you don't know what to get for or anything, or people who have food allergies or something. So you have some gift ideas here as well, Christine.
Yeah, I
If
think
you
we
want to
brought
show-
along. The salt pipe we brought
Yeah.
along.
This
This
in
has.
It's
I
a
think
salt pipe.
it's one of the simplest ideas. It doesn't contraindicate with any medication. It's used for people who have breathing difficulties, asthma, bronchitis. It can be used for sinus problems, headache sinus, for snoring, for any of the breathing difficulties that people might get into.
Yeah.
And it's literally a pipe, and it has, so you suck it in,
Yeah.
and then the salt vapours open all the pathways. Chest
It's like a
and lung.
nebulizer, is it? It's like a natural form
Yeah,
of it. Is it?
that's a very good way of putting
Right.
it. Yeah. The only thing with that you don't do is you don't breathe back into it.
Okay.
So as you suck it in
Uh-huh.
and let the salt crystals open the pathways, then you take it out of the mouth to breathe out, or you breathe out through the nose.
Right.
And
So that'd be a gift for anyone with breathing problems or
Yeah.
with asthma or
yeah,
anything like
yeah,
that.
it's just one of
Breathing.
these things that
Mhm.
and to
And
me it's great because you're
That's
not
€31, is
yeah,
it? 31.95.
yeah, and those last for 5 years.
Really?
Without
And do you have to
without-
renew the salts in it or anything
no,
like
it's
that?
complete.
You
It's
don't?
completely active for 5
Okay.
years. And the only thing always to be aware of with the salt pipe is it's one user only.
Right.
Remembering that
Okay.
it's
That you can only do.
you can't share it with
Share
your
it.
family or
No sharing.
whatever. And
Yeah.
it's quite safe. They say once for children over 5, once they know how to suck
Suck
it
it
in,
in.
then
They can
it's
do it.
fine to
That's
use.
a really good present, actually. It's a very practical present.
Yeah,
as
really.
well.
Yeah, something.
So it is.
Well, what I like about the salt pipe is that, and we've had fantastic results coming back with it, but you're actually taking nothing. So that
it's just
you're
natural.
creating a healing and a movement and a change
Yeah.
without a medication, whether a natural or herbal or medicinal.
Okay, so thanks a million, Christine, for that. So it is.
Most welcome.
I could talk to you all evening, and I'm sorry that we have to kind of cut it now. So we do, because there's loads of different things we wanted to talk about the winter flu, how to the immune system, but we got it all in. And I think there'll be loads of size 10s and 8s walking around after that, and loads of people in their nice healthy glow for
That's,
Christmas,
yeah,
and very,
which is
very
actually
healthy,
more
which
important.
is great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there'll be lots of healthy people walking around Cavan Town. And thanks a million, Christine.
You're welcome,
Christine's
Siobhan.
from the health food store on Main Street, Back to Nature on Main Street in Cavan. I'm Siobhan Harton, and you're watching Fashion and Lifestyle on Cavan TV. Join me next week, and we're going to have some hair tips, how to go from day to night for the busy lady. Thank you.